Hello and welcome to Michelle's videos. Excuse me. Today I'm going to be looking at the subject, changing the subject of a formula. Okay. You will need to know about reverse operations, but I'm sure it will become clear. Right, here we go. I'm going to turn off my camera and I'm going to share my screen with you. So let me bring up a Word document. There we go. Okay, so let's start off with a nice title, changing the subject. So, we're in purple, changing the subject of a formula. Righty. So I'll start off with a nice easy one. I'm going to change this to black. Right, okay, so we've got F equals 5C minus 8. And the exam says make C the subject. Make C the subject. Right, so what we do is, now there are different ways to do this and it's absolutely fine if you've got your own way. I'm just going to show you my way and hopefully it will make sense. Here is the subject at the minute. So it's before the equal sign. And this is asking us to change C. Now, the basics of algebra is 5C means 5 times. Okay. So whenever that letter is connected, we do the opposite. So that's going to be divide by 5. And then we've got minus 8. So we're going to plus 8. And that's what I have. Okay. Now, divide always goes at the bottom. That's how we divide in maths. We've got the F and we've got the plus 8. So now C equals yeah. So we're just doing the opposite. So again, because this means times, we do the opposite. This is minus 8, so we do the opposite. And really, this letter always comes first, kind of thing here. Then we just put it, and that means a divide. Divide by 5, divide by 5, and that's it. So let's do another one. So what about oh, I need the rubber actually. Let's get rid of that. What I'm going to do, instead of writing that out all the time, I'm going to put like C. We're going to make C the subject. Okay, so on this one we're going to make T the subject. Okay, so we've got, let me get my nice pinky pattern up again. I like that. So we've got U equals 4T minus 21. Okay, we've got to make t the subject. So in the exam, I would go, right, we've got to make that the subject. So now I'm going to do the opposite. Plus 21. Okay. So I'm going to start with t equals u plus the 21, because divide goes at the bottom. And that's it. That is actually it. Okay. Easy, 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 easy. What I'm going to do here is give you 3 questions to have a go. So, and in brackets is what you've got to make the subject. Okay. X equals 3y plus 2. Now make y the subject. Another one, w equals 5y minus 10. Make y the subject. And then z equals 5a minus 5, and make a the subject. So you can pause the video, okay, but at the end, what I'm going to do is give the answers. So you could pause the video, do them in your book, and then at the end of the video, you can check all of your answers. Or you could just skip to the end. Okay. So I'm going to leave them questions up, but I'm going to delete this. And then I'll put some more questions up. Or shall I keep that? I might keep that, you know. Right. Let's do another type. And I'll put some questions up. Right. So here we only had one letter. Okay. But you can have something that looks like this. M equals 5n plus 2p. Oh, that's a bit difficult. Right, I'm going to make p the subject, okay? So, let me get my nice coloured pen again. P the subject. Now, just be careful here. This is a time, so it's divide by 2. Oh, where's my divide come? Divide by 2. Now, we don't need to do, this is 5 times n, but we're not moving n, okay? So I'm going to do the opposite, as in this is plus 5, and I'm going to do the opposite 5 minus 5n. So I'm not changing this, okay? Not changing that, because this is the one I'm changing here. Opposite, and then just the opposite sign. So what have I got now? So I've got P. Divide goes at the bottom, so that's 2. I've got my M minus 5n, and that's my answer. Yeah, just remember you're not doing a divide here. Remember you've got a plus there, a kind of hidden plus. So just do the opposite for the number. You still keep the letter. Let's just do another one. So we could have P equals 3A plus 3B. And the exam asks us to make A the subject. So I'll get my pen and I'll circle A. So that's a times at the minute, getting rid of that A. So divide by 3. Now this, yeah, I don't need to get rid of the letter. So this is going to be minus 3b, because I'm not getting rid of the letter. It's just A is a subject. Right, so now I'd have A equals P. 3 goes at the bottom. Divide by 3 minus 3b. Okay. Bit trickier, I guess, but it's just remembering that you only sort of circle that, do the opposite, and then just do the opposite by keeping your letter, but changing the sign. Yeah? Right, let's put a couple up for you to have a go at. So what about the, get my colour right, B equals 3n minus 4m, and make m the subject. And what about C equals 2n plus 2m, make m the subject. And actually, I'm going to do one more. X equals 3y plus 3p, and make y the subject. Have a go, and again, I'll do the answers at the end rather than straight away. So you could have a go at them, pause the video, write them down, do whatever you need to do. Okay, I'm way over here. Right, what about a bit trickier? So let me just do this here. What about n equals n squared, plus 5, and we're going to make n the subject. Well, it's the only letter there, isn't it? So it's going to be n. Right, but anyway. So now at the minute, n is being squared. So the opposite of square is square root. The opposite of squared is square root. And the opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. So that's all we're doing, the opposite. Okay, so n is going to start off, and we've got a square root m minus 5. That's it. So it looks trickier, but it's not. But you've just got to remember the opposite of squared is square root. Okay, let's do another one, make it a little bit more tricky. Right, a squared equals u squared plus 2as. Oh, we're going to make a the subject. Right, don't panic. Looks difficult? Not. Right, a the subject. So that leaves me, I'm going to write it out again. That leaves me divide by 2s. Now, remember, I've kept the 2 and the s together. because I'm not getting rid of that letter. Okay, but this A means times. So I'm just looking at this bit. Okay. So I've kept the 2 and I've kept the S, but that's a time, so it's a divide. Opposite. Yeah. Now I don't need to touch this. So at the minute, it's a hidden plus. So I'm going to make it a minus U2. Okay. So what have I got? I've got rid of the A. So A equals V2. Always tends to be at the front. Minus the U2. And a divide always goes at the bottom to S. That's it. So it looks really complicated, but if you remember that rule here, let me just highlight that. If you remember the rule, okay, if we're not getting rid of the letter, we're not getting rid of S. So we keep the number and the letter. We change what's happening. There's a multiply here, so a divide. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Right, let's give a couple to have a go at. A equals P squared minus 2. Make P the subject. And B squared equals A squared minus 3CD. Make C the subject. So very similar, just so you can practice. And what we can do in class, we can just make some up and you can have a recap. Okay, radio. Now we'll do the last one, and this trickier. Just remember your rules. Right, here we go. Y equals 1, 2. It's a fraction. I'm doing my fraction facts. Fraction facts. It's a fraction, okay? Remember, we always do that. X plus 6. Ooh, looks hard. Make X the subject. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is the opposite of these. Now, I could do times 1, divide by 1. I don't need to. 1 is 1, okay? So what I've actually got here is I've got a divide at the minute, so it's going to be times 2, and I've got minus 6. Remember what I said about fraction facts? They cover so much. And if you can remember your fraction facts off by heart, you will be absolutely fine. So we've done the opposite. Okay, so because it's a fraction, I'm going to have a bracket. I'm going to write this down. Where can I write it? Remember, bracket for a fraction. Okay, right, so I've got the times. That's important. I've got the times, and that will always go on the outside. So I've got 2 bracket, that's gone, and I've got y minus 6, and that's my answer. Okay, now let's do another one. So y equals 2/3 fraction fact x minus 12. Okay, So I want to do the opposite. So I've got times by 2 here. But don't forget opposite. And I nearly did. I'm not going to lie. So I've got a divide by 2. I've got a times by 5. Times by 5 will go outside my bracket. And then I've got the opposite of that is plus 12. Right, let me just double check because I did make an error. So 2 times is divide 2. Good. 5 divided is times 5. Times goes outside my bracket. And then opposite that, yeah, great. Okay, so 5 outside my bracket. Okay, and then y plus 12. And then divide always goes at the bottom. So that's divide 2. So x equals, oh, sorry, and I should have put x equals that. And that's it. Okay, so yeah, so a couple of things to remember. Fraction facts, and that your times always goes outside the bracket, and then everything goes inside the bracket, apart from your divide, which always goes at the bottom. So here we go. Here's your questions. Y equals 1/3 x minus 2, and y, oh, make x the subject. Y equals 2/7 x plus 3. Have a go on your own and stop the video, and then I'll do the answers. Okay, I will do the answers. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this, and I can do the answers here next to them. So let's get rid of that. Right, okay, let's do them answers. Right, b equals 3n minus, oh no, that's not the first one, is it? Oh, let's start from the beginning. I'll finish in a minute. I wasn't at the top. Right, here we go. So, okay, x equals 3y plus 2. We're making y the subject. So that is divide by 3 minus 2. Yep, so we've got y equals x minus 2 divided by 3. That's your answer for the first one. Second one, w equals 5y minus 10. We're going to make y the subject, divide by 5 plus 10. So y equals w plus 10 divided by 5. Next one, z equals 5a minus 5, making a the subject. So, sorry, divide by 5 plus 5. So a equals, divide at the bottom, z plus 5. Hopefully you've got them all correct. Next one, which I was halfway doing. Right, we're making m the subject. So that at the minute is a time. So it's divide by 4. We're not moving that. So at the minute it's a plus 3n. So minus 3n. So m is the subject. So we've got, oh, a divide goes at the bottom. We've got b minus 3n. Lovely, a job, Ellie. Right, next one. What we got? C equals 2n plus 2m, and we're making m the subject. Divide by 2, opposite minus 2n. So we've got m equals, divide goes at the bottom, and we've got c minus 2n. Next one, we've got x equals 3y plus 3p. We're making y the subject, so that's divide by 3. This is plus 3p, so minus 3p, because we don't need that bit. So we've got y equals, divide goes at the bottom, x minus 3p. All lovely jubbly. Hopefully you've got them all right. If you haven't, bring it into class. We'll do some recapping anyway. Okay? So don't worry about it. It's the first time you've seen it, so not a problem. Right. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. So we've got a equals p squared minus 2. Well, the opposite of squared is a root plus 2. I'm making p the subject. So p equals square root a plus 2. Then we've got b squared equals a squared minus 3cd. Right, so what we're making the subject, we're making c the subject. So there's c. Yeah, you with me? I'm just looking at something actually. Yeah. That's right. Okay, so I'm thinking there. So I'm not worried about that because I've got to keep the 3 and the d together, which means times. So the opposite of that is divide by 3d. And the opposite of that is root. Oh no, we don't need to do the opposite. Because it's not a the subject, is it? So that would be plus, so it's going to be minus a squared. Sorry about that. So what we're making, c equals what we've got here. We've got b squared. That's a divide, so it goes at the bottom. 3d, and we've got minus a squared. And that's your answer. Okay. Now I made, and that's fine, I went to go, the opposite of that is root. But remember, we're keeping all of that. We're keeping it all because a is not the subject. We need that a squared still. Okay, so we do the opposite, add or subtract. Okay. Right, next one. Last but not least, remember bracket for fraction. Right here, what we got? We got y equals 1/3 x minus 2, divide, times. Well, again, I'm not going to worry about that because it's 1. So I don't really worry about that. So that's times 3 plus 2. Now, my times, let's change that colour, make it yellow. My times goes on the outside of the bracket, okay? So x equals 3, y plus 2. And that's my answer. You can just remember that bracket here. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do the next one. I mean, y equals 2, 7, x plus 3. We're going to make x the subject. Divide and times. So what have I got now? I'm going to have the opposite. So divide by 2 times by 7 and minus 3. I find it really helpful for you to just write the opposite out in a line, and then I don't forget, hopefully. Right, so x is the subject. Which one? Times that one. So that goes there. Y minus 3. That one's done. That one's done. My divide goes at the bottom. And that's my answer. And that hopefully that is your answer. Yeah. Just going to put that down. I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to put my camera back on. Hopefully. So there are other ways of doing it. Okay. That's the simplest way I found at the moment. But if you've got another way and you're fine with it, stick with it. If you've got another way totally, show me in class, because I'll always adopt any method that I think learners will get this. Okay, but that's the way I do it. Hope it helps. What you could do is go on to Corbett Maths and try similar ones. But we will do similar ones in class. So, you know, keep practicing. Okay, take care. Bye.